Alrighty. Well, welcome back, everybody. Um, Hope everyone had a productive week. Figured I'd kind of do a quick little check-in on, 2 weeks ago when I did the first solo podcast. I had said I was going to start doing some workouts and things like that to get kind of back on track. And I kind of wanted to give an update on that, and then hit today's topic real quick. So. Um, First things first, a couple weeks ago I said I was going to start working out, and my goal was something really easy and achievable. That way I don't discourage myself. So I've been doing 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's a super simple workout. It's 30 minutes, and I've done every single one of them. If I didn't do the specific workout that I had planned, then I was able to do, running for 30 minutes or whatever body weight exercises here at home or something like that. So, anyway, that's been going great. I feel great. I already feel a lot better than I did a couple weeks ago, just because I have that one simple thing that I'm focusing on. And, when you're accomplishing small goals, makes you feel better. So anyway, wanted to give an update on that. Second is the topic I wanted to discuss today. Kind of goes hand in hand with that, which is I guess self-criticism. I know we've talked about that before. My brother and I on our other podcast. But the thing is, it's a hard thing to overcome when you're doing poorly. In all aspects. So sometimes, and for me, a big problem that I've had in the past is even when I'm doing, from the outside, people might think or might see and say that I'm doing well. In my head, and I've talked about this again on the podcast. In my head, I'm doing horrible. Like I'm only giving it 50%. I feel like I'm being lazy all the time. Um, So for me, that's a problem all the time. I'm always beating myself up for something. I used to get up. We were doing this podcast. We were doing a lot of crazy stuff at the beginning of the year, which was just what is it, almost 9 months ago now. So starting in January, I was doing some crazy stuff, but I still was beating myself up. Like, you're not doing enough. Why? What the heck's wrong with you? So I wanted to talk about that today because I don't know if it's because I turned 29 in this year or something. Maybe I'm a little more mature, or I don't know. Maybe it's the second kid that I have, but I've kind of realized that you can't do that and that you end up getting less accomplished when you're constantly judging yourself for your failures and the when you keep coming up short to things, when you set unrealistic goals and you don't accomplish them and you beat yourself up for it, you end up accomplishing less overall. So, um, something that I'm doing now, again, I'm setting small, achievable goals, but also I, again, I don't know what switched in my head, but I'm not upset with myself when I'm not, you know, when I'm not being a superhero, which is really what it was before. Was I felt like I should have been a superhero. I should have been not only waking up at 3, but I should have been the absolute best father in the world. I should have been making $1 million a day. I should have been working out for multiple hours a day, spending time with my family, making sure, all of these things were accomplished, and there was no actual possibility of all of that happening. So I would just be upset all the time. And when I was upset with myself, I was upset with my wife. All these things, it kind of snowballs. So again, now I don't know. Aside from accomplishing the small goals that I set, which puts me in a better mood, um, I'm not. I, I'm not focusing on any of that stuff. Like I don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I go do a 30-minute workout. I get the kids ready for school. Um, get them all loaded up as my wife brings them to work, and then I go do a quick workout, and then I work all day. And even if I'm not getting enough done at work, I'm still like, okay, well, you accomplished. You worked all day. That's the thing. As long as I'm working, I feel like I'm fine. So I don't know what changed, but I wanted to talk about it because it has held me back a lot in the past. Because I would spend more time thinking about the fact that I'm being lazy than actually not being lazy. And it was terrible. So um, now that I've got these workouts, which by the way, just real quick, it's simple. I go to there's a public track and I do one lap. So it's like what's that, 400 meters? I have no idea, but I do one lap, and then I do real light stuff, guys. It's like I think 5 pull-ups, 10 body weight squats, 10 push-ups, 10 dips, uh, 10 uh, decline push-ups. I do a 1 minute wall sit, 30-second plank, and then 5 more pull-ups. And then I do another lap, and I just do that 4 times. So it's like it's real simple, and it takes me 30 minutes. But then again, like I said, I feel way better afterwards. Not only because I accomplished it, but because I was moving. You know what I mean? Exercise has a funny effect. Um, so outside of those goals, I have been setting goals through the business, real small ones. Again, every week I kind of look at my 6 month or 8 month, 12 month, whatever, if it's this quarter that I have goals for or the year, whatever, I set goals. I talked about this on the other podcast too, and I can go into more depth on that if that's something somebody wants to know how I operate that or how I set that up. But um, I take a look at my big picture goals and I make one move towards those goals per week. Where in the past it was, 3 to 6. I would try to get 3 or 6 big things done every week, and then be upset when I only got one of them done or um, something, or I would try to come up with 6 things and really only one of them was a move towards the big goal, and the other 4 or 5 were just fillers that I would try to make up because I thought that I needed to have more things accomplished. It's just a lot of wasted time, wasted space. So again, I'm setting one per week, and I've been doing that, and everything's been great. I get to spend some more time with my family. I'm not just stressed out anymore. Um, which is the other thing I've been, you know, we've talked again about this on the podcast before, but spending time with your family is extremely important. And now that I got 2 kids, it's a lot for one parent. One 2-year-old and a 3-month-old is a lot for one parent to be dealing with by themselves for an extended period of time. So I do everything I can to shut everything off at like 4 p.m. and make sure the dinner's ready before my wife gets home. Because, excuse me, at the moment I'm working out of my home office because I'm in the middle of looking for some bigger space as my company's growing. So I'm working from here. So I try to, like I said, shut down by 4. She leaves work at 4, picks up the kids, and comes home. So by 4 o'clock, I shut everything down and I try to make dinner and have it ready by the time everyone gets home so we can sit down and eat together. And we started shutting off our phones, which is great. So we don't, there's no scrolling through social media or anything like that, really, until we get to bed. But that way, it's just us and the kids in the evenings, so we can be there and present with our children. Because in the past that hasn't been the case, and you wonder why your kids are throwing temper tantrums when all they want to do is spend time with you. So we started doing that, and it's been a good couple of weeks. So I'm just going to keep growing and expanding on those things. And again, this is a real quick podcast, but I just wanted to say to talk about, self-criticism, because it'll kill you. It did. I mean, for years, shoot, probably right about the time I got out of the Marine Corps until now. So what's that? Shoot, I know 6 years, I think. 2018. Yeah, 6 years. So almost 7 years ago, I started beating myself up. I set these goals that I will never achieve. It's absolutely impossible to maintain. Um, and then I just tell myself I'm a piece of shit all day, every day, and it'll really mess you up. Uh, and and you'll start going backwards. So whenever I would get something going good, I would fall off, and then that was it. And that was part of it, because I kept beating myself up for every little thing that I that again, there was no way that it was possible to do. So I'm setting smaller goals. I'm paying attention to those things. If I catch myself like, hey, if I catch myself criticizing myself, which again, I don't know if something clicked, whatever, in these past couple months, that I'm not doing it as often, but when it does happen, I try and catch myself and realize, hey, you did accomplish something. So there's no reason to be beating yourself up like that. Tomorrow, just try and go a little bit further than you did today. That's all I'm looking for right now. And it's been, again, really good, productive couple of weeks, with less stress. That's the main thing, is trying to cut out some of that stress so that I can focus on growth for the company, personally, and my family. So anyway, I just wanted to share that stuff today, and hope that, again, I'm not wasting anybody's time with this stuff, but at the same time, you could just not listen. So, all right, guys. I will let me know again if anybody wants to kind of take a deep dive into the goal setting stuff, because that is something that has really helped my company. I've been doing that for almost, I think I started about a year ago, and it's really cool to see, you know, we've all probably written down goals and stuff like that, but I've never made it out for a year on my any goals that I've written down. Maybe like 8 or 9 months was the most, but to come a full circle around to a year and see what I wrote down get accomplished, is it's pretty cool. So it's a real simple process, but if anybody's interested in doing that, it doesn't just have to be for business. You can do it for personal stuff too. So just let me know. Otherwise, guys, I will see you next week. Hopefully, I keep saying this, but I'm pretty sure Rudy will be back over here soon. He's had he's had a lot of issues, and I'm sure whenever he gets back over here, he'll update us on all that. So anyway, have a good one, guys. We will see you next time.